Ugh. Might get my tripod for this, but oh shit. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Give me a second here. We're a one man operation. Hold on, guys. Let me get here. Let me get here. So let's get it popping. Let's get it on and popping. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. And y'all know the rest, man. I ain't gotta tell you the introduction. So look, right now we're here. It's Gilberto, Zordo, Ramirez, Benavidez fight week. You guys see it. I just got into Vegas last night. We've reached the conclusion of Angelo Leo training camp. I will be in Atlanta next week for the Raif Salim Angelo Leo fight, or better yet, the Angelo Leo Raif Salim fight. But until we get to Atlanta, might as well cover some boxing. So we're here. You know, the weigh-in's gonna be here at noon, and I got a little bit of time to kill. So I figured, you know what? I'd say that I'd come here and talk to the fine folks here on True School Sports. Make sure y'all do me a favor while I do you a favor and smash the like button. Give me your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns about this and or any other things in boxing. I know I'm gonna get a lot of questions about Inoue versus Nakatani because a lot of people expected me to be there in Japan for Inoue Nakatani, but you know life happens, and sometimes you know God has other plans. But look, I'm rocking right now. Look, I'm rocking the Hachiochi Nakaya boxing T-shirt, boxing gym. That's Jin Suzuki's gym. So shout out to Jin Suzuki. But yeah, man, we're here. And somebody asked me in the chat. They said, "BT, how's the atmosphere this week?" I just got here, so I'm getting a feel for it myself. What I can tell you, just from my little 20 minutes that I've spent here, is that it's a much better turnout media wise than the Keith Thurman versus Sebastian Fundora fight. That was like a vacation for me. That was one of the easiest fights I ever worked. We were out of here by like 10:30. So much different than that. I'm expecting this to be like how it feels when I'm normally in the MGM Grand Media Room, But um, it's a good amount of weekend, I've heard some people. Shout out to Reverse Lee says that ticket sales aren't great. I mean, look, we'll see on fight night. Obviously, it's a really interesting fight between Benavidez and Zordo. It's the first time too you could say Mexican fighters have fought at the cruiserweight limit for the title. In a unification fight at that, it's not Canelo. Canelo Alvarez has a certain level of star power that a lot of these fighters will never ever achieve. Benavidez, I feel like, is on his way. He's starting to resonate with people a lot more. And I think this is a true legacy fight for him. I mean, people want to downplay Gilberto Zordo Ramirez and say that Gilberto Zordo Ramirez has no chance. He's not good. He's not this. He's not that. But Zordo Ramirez is like 48-1, guys. Zordo Ramirez is a fighter who's accomplished like real things in the sport of boxing. First ever Mexican to win a super middleweight title. First ever Mexican to win a cruiserweight title. First ever Mexican to unify the cruiserweight title. I mean, he's done some things. And it's funny because when I look at this fight, from the Zordo Ramirez perspective, let's forget about Benavidez for a second because I feel like everybody's just kind of going with Benavidez. Let's look at it from the Zordo Ramirez perspective. This is a guy that's been a pretty good fighter for a good amount of time now. And I feel like he's always, even though he's Mexican and he has a good record and he's beating some good opponents and things like that, he only ever lost to Bivol. He's kind of been in the shadows of Canelo Alvarez and Benavidez so far as attention is concerned and fanfare is concerned. He never really got that fanfare, But this is his chance where I feel like, you know what? If he continues to, if he does win this fight, if Zordo Ramirez does, and in my opinion, I'll say shock the world because it's very hard to find people who are picking Zordo Ramirez to win this fight. So I'll say it like this: if he shocks the world, Zordo Ramirez, I feel like he can finally in his now 50th professional fight get the fanfare that he's been searching for. But I have my concerns about Zordo because it's one of the old boxing cliches. when you hear a fighter getting ready to go into a big fight and they start talking about retirement, they start hinting at retirement, they start saying things like, I need a break, I've been doing this a long time, and by the way, all fighters feel this way, so it's not a unique feeling to him, but you never want to say it out loud. It's never a good omen because it generally signals that the fighter, if he feels comfortable enough to say that out loud, it sounds like they've already halfway checked out. So I'm very intrigued to see, which Zordo Ramirez we're gonna get. Are we gonna get a Zordo Ramirez that truly is coming to win, or is he just happy to be here? Is he just happy to be here at the MGM Grand at the big dance? With Benavidez on a big Cinco de Mayo fight week. Is he just happy to be here? Is he just trying to survive, or is he going to be here to win and thrive and make something special of himself in this glorious fight game that we all love? That's what I want to know. Because I like Zordo Ramirez. I've actually been a big Zordo Ramirez fan for a lot of years. This is my second time covering him. The last time I covered Zordo Ramirez was way back in 2021 when he fought Inoue Gonzalez out there in San Antonio. And I'll tell you this, that arena isn't going to be as packed as this one, even though people are saying the ticket sales for this fight aren't great. But, boxing fans, that's what boxing fans do. Boxing fans are always looking to complain about ticket sales and this, that, and the third. And it's just like, man, just enjoy the fights. Enjoy the fight week. If the tickets sell, great. If they don't, it is what it is. But let the fights be great. And if these fighters go out there and they deliver a spectacular show for you guys, then the next fight could be sold out. You know what I mean? They're fighting for the next. They're fighting for the future. So I'll leave it at that. But anyway, let me acknowledge some comments. Make sure you guys smash the like button while I'm here because I'm not sure how long this live's going to be. So get your comments, questions, concerns, thoughts in. Let me know where you guys are watching from, what city, what state, what continent. Right now, I'm in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Another, opportunity to be here in one of my favorite places in the world, which is the MGM Grand Media Room. This when you come in this media room, guys, you really feel like you're in the big times for boxing. Especially when it's a fight like this on Cinco de Mayo weekend. So anyway, let me sit down and answer your guys' questions. And yeah, we see we got my man Felix. He says he's so humble. He's been doing it for so long. It seemed like an honest statement. 50 fights. That's what I'm saying. He got 50 fights, and that's a long time. So I mean, I think it is an honest statement. But whether it's honest or not, boxing is very much a sport that's about the mind and the subconscious mind. And all I'm saying is, from my experience watching boxing, when a fighter feels comfortable enough to talk about saying, I got 2 fights left, this, that, and the third, and you're fighting a guy like David Benavidez, it generally does not pan out well, So we'll see how it goes. No, the shoe is on the other foot, and Zordo is claiming he's willing to fight Jai from what I heard, and Benavidez just said it first. It has to be for all the marbles. Well, as far as Zordo, when it concerns Jai Opetaia, I can speak directly to that because back in December at the WBA convention, I came across Zordo's manager, David Sue, and I've come across him a couple of times in my time in this fight game. I asked him myself, I said, hey, David, why isn't Zordo trying to fight Jai Opetaia? And to that, David pretty much said, look, there's no money in that fight. And guess what? Jai's not that good anyway. So they took this fight because they felt like it was the bigger fight. It was a bigger money fight. And to their credit, it is. It's a Cinco de Mayo fight against a guy with a much bigger name, David Benavidez. You guys know I'm a big Jai Opetaia fan. I've probably covered Jai Opetaia more than anybody in American boxing media since 2022. And Jai Opetaia, he just fought here in Vegas at the Apex, which is not a big venue. So Yusufa Boxing has him at the Apex. It did well. It was a raucous crowd with a lot of Samoans, but he's not commercially where, David Benavidez is. So I understand from a management standpoint, from a money standpoint, from a business standpoint, why they took this fight. But we'll see. If Zordo comes to this fight, we'll see what he winds up doing. I think Zordo would fight Opetaia. I mean, Zordo's fought Bivol. He's about to fight Benavidez. He's fought Chris Smith. He's fought some good fighters throughout his time in the fight game, So I don't see why he wouldn't do it. Facts. Who cares about ticket sales? He says, shout out to my guy Sean Tatel, the Dundada. Box Media says, damn, bro, you're there early. I'll be there in an hour. Save a seat front and center, please. They're letting anyone, please, if they're letting anyone in the weigh-in early. All right, I'll definitely do that, Sean. I got your back. Make sure y'all go subscribe to my main man, Sean Tatel. I've been in training camp for the last month, Sean, and I haven't really been in rhythm here on YouTube. So it's good to finally be back in the media space, being able to do what I do best. It was a great time with Angelo Leo, and we're gonna put on the show next week in Atlanta. But I love being here, so it's great to be here. That's why I'm here early. So I'll see you here in a little bit, Sean. He says, "Damn, BT, YouTube don't even notify me when you go live anymore because they hate. YouTube want to hate on your boy True School. They want to try to suppress the truth and push the fake, and that's how it goes with anything in life. They try to always keep the real ones down, but the real will prevail. Good to see you. Let me see. David is not having to cut weight. In my opinion, it doesn't benefit his conditioning positively. That's a good point. Benavidez is a high output fighter, so I don't see. I'm really intrigued to see how him not having to cut weight affects him. You know, I've had like a hot and cold relationship with Benavidez over the years. You know, when he first came out, I was all in on Benavidez. Then, like around the time when I would come to the same MGM Grand Media Room and people would talk about Benavidez fighting Canelo, and I knew back then that Canelo was never gonna fight him because that's just not what Canelo does. Canelo was never gonna fight him, and I got mad that he made his whole career about Canelo, and I actually wanted him to go to light heavyweight a lot earlier in his career, probably like a year and a half, 2 years before he actually did. So then I kind of got mad at him because he was beating up these smaller guys. Zordo's not a smaller guy, you know. So some of those old criticisms of the past, when I was not, the most pro Benavidez, they can definitely be rehashed. You know, he does have a significant hand speed advantage against Zordo Ramirez. But at the same time, it's like, okay, if you have that hand speed advantage and you land 4 or 5, 6 punches in a row, and let's just say you don't break him down, does the extra weight now affect you? If he's able to push you back and you're not used to carrying that weight around under the lights, does that affect you? I think that's a genuine question to ask going into this fight. What do you guys in the comments say? Sean says it's longer overdue for Brennan to be at every MGM fight. I said Benavidez for the truth, even if he don't rock me like that, and he is the most essential. He is with the most essential dates in the sport. And to that first part of that statement, Sean, 1,000%. It's been a long time coming. Shout out to people like yourself who have given me a lot of inspiration. Shout out to my man Steve Pratt over there. Steve deserves a lot of credit. Shout out to everybody, and most importantly, shout out to the viewers on True School Sports. If you guys don't tune in and show support, and I don't get the viewership, then these people don't really want to mess with your boy. So that being said, I'm appreciative to everybody. Um, Somebody asked me, what is my Jin Sasaki Sora Tanaka prediction? Now look, you see what I'm rocking right now. You see what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Hachiochi Nakaya boxing gym T-shirt, and it's in support of my man Jin Sasaki, who, by the way, for those that don't know, Jin was part of the early stages of the Angelo Leo training camp, so we did get a chance to get some work in with Jin and maybe give him some new ideas and ways that he can go about his business in the ring. Because he likes to let the leather fly. And we were very encouraged what we saw. What I'll say is we were very encouraged what we saw. And even if Jim wasn't in camp with me, I was still going to pick him against Sora Tanaka because he's better than Sora Tanaka. I feel he's better than Sora Tanaka. He should beat Sora Tanaka. But based on what we've seen in the gym, what I've seen in the gym, I don't see why Jin can't, why he shouldn't go up there and just absolutely light up the Tokyo Dome. And if he doesn't, I'm going to tell you right now, if he doesn't go up there and light up the Tokyo Dome and light this fool up, I'm going to be very disappointed in him. And that's just being honest. Is there any? Is there many media personnel there? It's starting to fill up. We got like over there. We got Keith Idek. We got Lance Puckmeyer from Boxing Scene over there. You got a couple podcast people over there. It's starting to fill up. But right now it's early. I'm a little early right now. I'm earlier than most of the media here, so it's not that full yet. But it will. I'm sure it will because I've seen the videos. I've seen it looks crazy compared to like the last time I was here for Fundora versus Thurman. Just a completely different ball game. It felt like, from what I seen, it looked like a real MGM Grand media room type of fight. Let me see. Who else we got? I seen they made Kazuto Ioka cover his tattoos. That's crazy. Um, it's not crazy to me because being someone that's been to Japan many times, you can't if you have tattoos, you can't even work out in the gym with your tattoos exposed. It's against the rules of a lot of the public gyms there. Um, have some damn discipline when you're in Japan. Um, will I be live later on for the Inoue fight? 1,000%. You guys already know. I'll be live. I'll be live for the Inoue Nakatani fight. I believe the fight starts at midnight. midnight Pacific time. So I'll probably be live right from the very first fight, if not the second fight, or at least the Jin Tazaki fight. I might go live when Jin start the live when Jin fights. So maybe like midnight or one. Just stay tuned to the notifications. I'll schedule it. So when I schedule it, you guys make sure you look out for it. Put the notifications on and join, because this is in fact the number one source for Japanese boxing in America. So it's a special live. I was going live for Inoue fights when it wasn't popular. So you best believe I'm gonna go live for the biggest fight of his career so far. We need the live reaction to the KO of the year with 1,000%. God willing. I'm really hoping he gets it. Like I'm just as invested in Jin beating Sora Tanaka as I am in Angel Leo beating Raiz, because I was part of both camps. He was part of our camp. I was part of the Angelo camp. So hopefully he goes in there and he does it. I really do feel like he has a lot of untapped potential, and we kind of tapped into it a little bit while he was there for the couple of weeks he was here, or the month that he was here. So we'll see how it goes. Am I picking Takuma Inoue? Now, a lot of people have been asking about that fight, Takuma Inoue versus Kazuto Ioka. I'll be honest with you, I haven't even put any thought into that fight. I don't want to say that I don't care about it, but it's just been secondary to the Jin fight, the Inoue fight. I'll say, let me see, Ioka versus Takuma. I don't know, man. They're fighting at what, 115? Ioka's never fought at 15 before. This is Kazuto Ioka's chance to become a 5 division champion. Which, by the way, that's a storyline that's not being talked about enough. Ioka with a chance to join some of the greatest names in boxing history, like Crawford and Mayweather and Leonard and Hearns and Pacquiao and these kind of guys, De La Hoya. He's gonna join them names if he wins this fight. So it's actually a fight that doesn't just have significance for Japanese boxing, but boxing history at large, because there's less than 10 5 division champions in the history of boxing. But that being said, I feel like Takuma Inoue, to beat Takuma Inoue, if you look at the guys that have beaten him in the past, he has a particular style he struggles with. And the style that he struggles with the most is come forward, rugged, pressure, high volume punchers with heavy hands. Guys like Nordinu Bali, fighters like Seiya Tsutsumi, them kind of guys. And that is not what Ioka does. Ioka's coming up a weight class. I think Ioka has lost a step. I think Takuma Inoue is coming in with a lot of confidence, beating Tenshin Nasukawa. So I'm gonna go with Takuma on points, but we'll see, man. I want Kazuto Ioka to win because I'm not the biggest Takuma Inoue guy, and I like seeing history. So I would like Ioka to win just for the sake of history. But I got Takuma. Let me see. Did I miss any comments? Zordo Ramirez is strong. Benavidez is not Mexican. Zordo is the best. There you go. If anybody's in the chat, let me see. If anybody's in the chat and you rocking with Zordo Ramirez, let me know in the comments, because I was talking amongst when I was in camp with Angelo with him and the sparring partners. I was telling him, I'm like, man, it feels like this is like some Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson shit, because everyone's picking Benavidez. Like I'm searching near and I'm searching far for people that are picking Zordo Ramirez. I feel like everybody's picking Benavidez. And I don't blame him. Benavidez is a great fighter. He has a certain aura to him. I get it. Man, like y'all talk, people out here just talking about Zordo Ramirez like he can't box at his toes, like he doesn't, like he's not a very good volume puncher, like he doesn't do great things in the ring in his own right. You know, my man Felix says he's got Zordo 100%. TSM has Zordo. Okay, so we got people that are rocking with Zordo, because everyone's like, yeah, man, I support all the Mexican fighters, but then when it comes to Zordo Ramirez, they don't support Zordo Ramirez, and I'm like, damn, is Zordo Ramirez not Mexican enough for you guys? He's pretty damn Mexican. But yeah, it's great to be back in Vegas. It really is, guys. Like, yeah, no idea, and I'm excited to be here. Is anybody in the chat going to be at the fight tomorrow? I was going to pick Zordo, but I don't like the retirement talk from him during the week. Seems like he's got one foot out the door. Yeah, I've seen that, and to me, it's like I looked at this fight. In my opinion, I looked at it as a clear, like 60-40 fight for Benavidez. Now, like I don't bump that shit up 10%. I got a 70-30 for Benavidez. I do think like the hand speed of Benavidez, is the hand speed, and not just the hand speed. Like Zordo can box, but people underrate Benavidez's boxing skills. They underrate his ability to actually box guys from range. I haven't looked at the reaches, so don't quote me on the reaches. I don't know who the longer guy is, but I just remember being here when Benavidez fought Alexander Gvozdyk, who, by the way, is a very high level boxer. Yes, it wasn't the prime Alexander Gvozdyk, but I like the fact I like when he does actually box and then he mixes in the speed and mixes up the ranges. Benavidez is amazing when he boxes. I think he's actually sometimes better when he boxes. As crazy as it sounds. Have you seen Figueroa is waiting for the Inoue payday? Maybe the Espinoza with Leo fight could happen now. I saw that, and it's expected. You know, Brandon Figueroa is the weakest champion in the division, in my opinion. Um, the Espinoza Figueroa fight, I never really thought it was gonna happen, just because of the fact that they have some sort of history having the same trainer. I figured they do know each other, so I didn't really believe it was gonna happen. Even when I interviewed Brandon Figueroa when he had fought when he was here for the Ryan Garcia Barrios fight, I just didn't believe it, right? So, as far as Espinoza fighting Angelo Leo, look, first things first, I don't want to disrespect Rai Salim. Rai Salim is a real legitimate contender, and I don't want to overlook him. However, God willing, Angelo Leo goes in there, handles business against Rai Salim. I don't see why the Espinoza Leo fight shouldn't be next. Espinoza is ranked number one by Ring Magazine. Leo is number two. They both can fight for the Ring Magazine title. It's a unification fight, and I think it should happen. And Team Espinoza, there was one guy from Team Espinoza who I saw was running his mouth on Instagram talking about Angelo Leo ducked the fight, and I had to come check him because he was just talking out of pocket. And then all of a sudden he want to change his tune and say, oh no, it's the promoters. It's like, nah, man. Angelo Leo doesn't duck nobody. He can't duck no one. He doesn't have the politics on his side. So um, focus on Rai Salim, beat him, and after that, I hope by the end of the year, I would love to help give you guys, the boxer fans, the best fight in the featherweight division. You said it best, True. This is Zordo's chance for fan. It is. This is his chance for that critical acclaim that maybe he hasn't gotten throughout the duration of his career. And for those wondering, the press conference is at noon Pacific time, or the weigh-in. The weigh-in will be at noon Pacific time in the MGM Grand Ballroom, or in the MGM Grand. So maybe in like an hour or so, I might have to end this live. But while I'm here, come talk to me. Is Dave Benavidez not mentioning his Dominican heritage out of fear of losing some of his Mexican fans? I don't know, man. And that could be it. Being Dominican in boxing is not as marketable as being a Mexican fighter. We all know that. Um, Mexican fighters draw a lot more fans and make more money because they just have that built-in fan base. But maybe, who knows? Why is your boy Artem Dalakian not fighting since the Sego Yuri Akui lost? Well, I wouldn't call him my boy. I'm not no huge fan of Artem Dalakian, but I don't know. He's got a tricky style. He's hard to deal with in the ring. A lot of movement, so I can see why guys don't want to fight him. Dominican, I thought he was Salvadorian. He's got a little bit of Dominican in him from what I've read and from what I've heard, but that doesn't really get publicized too much. But yeah, I know he's Ecuadorian. You know what? How about this? He's just American. If you got like two or three, four things mixed up, if your family gene pool mixed the paints, you just American. He American. Why do you think Turkey is getting involved more in Netflix? Doesn't he have Dana White who could put the fights on Paramount Plus? I think the bigger fights, the biggest dates in boxing, the premier dates, the events that he's doing, he's putting on Netflix. As far as Dana White, the Saudi and Public Investment Fund is not trying to lose money forever on these fights. So TKO Holdings, I think they're footing about 40% of the bill for Zuffa Boxing. So I feel like Dana White and them are just there, and I'm not trying to talk bad about them. I hope maybe it works out well, maybe it doesn't, but I feel like they're just there to kind of shoulder some of the money that that the Saudis have been losing. I think Inoue will have his best performance and make Nakatani look like a C-level fighter. Possibly. Listen, man, he better just win. He better just win and not F up coming to featherweight. Otherwise, I'm going to have a lot to say about Inoue, you know? But it's your boy BT, Brendan Taylor, the untouchable, True School Sports Empire. Make sure you guys smash the like button, man. I mean, there's media here, but ain't many of this. I don't really see no media coming here to talk to you guys, you know. So while I'm here, smash that like button. I got 28 people here. I got 28 people here, and y'all being stingy. Y'all hating on the kid. Y'all hating on True School. Y'all hating on BT. I only got 12 likes. What's going on, champ? Shout out to Matt Morganson with the $5 super chat. He says, shout out to BT. Tomorrow is fireworks. I have Inoue and Nakatani being an all-time classic, and to worry about that fight a lot. Inoue is my favorite fighter. Well, Matt, thank you for your support. I always appreciate you when you come on these lives and support. People like you keep me going, and people like you are why I'm here right now. So it doesn't go underappreciated. But as far as Inoue Nakatani, you know, I've gone back and forth. I've gone back and forth with that fight. I'm not as far as my prediction. I'm picking Inoue all the way for sure. I just think Inoue's got too much skills, not just skills, but explosiveness, speed, punch placement. I think experience on that top level is too much for Junto Nakatani. That's my opinion. But what I'm going back and forth on is how the fight's going to play out. Because I at first I was like, you know what, Inoue's going to beat the brakes off Nakatani. The speed, the fact that this guy has a long torso, the body punching. I think Inoue's going to stop him in about 7 rounds. But then I was like, you know what? I shouldn't really be so hard on Junto because, you know, Inoue fights nothing like Sebastian Hernandez-Reyes. He's not a high guard Mexican fighter who just marches forward and does all that. So now the outcome that I have settled upon is that I am picking Inoue. I think Inoue stops Nakatani in 7 rounds, but I think both fighters are going to exchange a knockdown. I think both fighters exchange at least one knockdown apiece. So I think Inoue will have some adversity to overcome. And if that knockdown comes early for Nakatani, it's going to be like in the first 3 rounds. If Inoue gets to the first 3, maybe 4 rounds, and he's not dropped, he gonna school Nakatani. That's how I see it. You see. He says, Mother Princess BT is fulfilling media obligations even with the fight upcoming. Yeah, man, even though I was just in camp with the best featherweight in the world and the future undisputed featherweight champion and the future top 10 pound fighter, Angelo Leo, you know I was with him. You know, True School. This right here still means a lot to me, and it still is my priority. And I'm still here to, you know, come cover the sport of boxing at the highest level because when I was in Dania Beach, Florida, 11 years ago, and we started this journey, you know, I dreamed about days like this. I dreamed to be here, and now I'm here. So while I'm here, I gotta take advantage of it every chance I get. So thank you guys. Matt Borgeson, again with the super chat, says, when I think about it, there's no safe distance for Inoue in this fight. I don't see what Inoue would do to win. I think with Inoue, he's gonna have to mix the ranges up. So I feel like, look, this is how I see it for Inoue. If I'm Shingo Inoue and I'm trying to develop a game plan to deliver a virtuoso performance against Junto Nakatani, my game plan would be you gotta take those that you have to take the experience that you got against Picasso and also Merjan, and you gotta use that in the first 3 to 4 rounds. So the first 3 to 4 rounds, you pick your spots, you box them, you get on the front foot, let Junto and maybe some anxiousness and him wanting to prove himself on that top level. Let his anxiousness use it against him. Box, move, circle behind the jab, and then when Junto overcommits, then you make him pay. Don't even and make sure you keep your punches straight. Don't throw any hooks. Don't throw any uppercuts. Keep them straight, sharp, professional, and down the middle. The first 3 to 4 rounds. Now, if he crosses that line, if he falls over his front foot, then you counter and you throw anything of significance that's not a straight punch. But unless he overcommits, from the first 3 to 4 rounds, you keep everything straight and you use your foot speed and your hand speed to your advantage, and you put away at least 2 of the first 4 rounds. Now, round 5, 6, when things open up, you know, God willing, you get this guy to overcommit a little bit, then you start to open up, and then I think Inoue's hand speed, punching power. Even though I would say his punching power isn't at 22 what it was at 18 or 15, but it's still enough to, I think, hurt Junto Nakatani. Um, I think the middle rounds, that's where you start to open up a bit more. But the first 3 to 4 rounds, don't be Bushido, don't be a samurai warrior, don't do any of that. Just be the smarter, more complete fighter. I think this fight will be the fight where we see if Inoue has lost a step or not. Yeah, it will be because Junto's one of the best fighters out there. That's what I'm saying. Inoue has been talking some cash shit in the media in the build up to this fight. He's been talking about that I'm not coming here to box with Junto. I'm coming here to stop him. He's looking for the knockout. He's made his intent perfectly clear. I think he understands the occasion that this is going to be the biggest event in the history of his country for boxing, which says a lot because Japan, quiet as kept to many, is one of the most tradition-rich countries for boxing. I believe they produced the fourth most world champions. But this will only be, I believe, the fourth ever fight at the Tokyo Dome because you had Tyson Douglas, maybe Tyson, Tony Tubbs, Inoue Neri, and not Inoue Nakatani. So there's been less than 5 events held at the Tokyo Dome, and Inoue will now have headlined half of them. So he understands what this means in the grand scheme of things. I think it's going to look like Alim versus the Japanese southpaw. So you think Inoue is going to get dropped, get countered, and Junto's just going to follow him around the ring? I don't know if I agree with that because Junto throws at a way higher volume than Nakano. Nakano has almost zero footwork to speak of. You guys have no idea how much we watched that fight in camp. I hate that fight. When I be in these camps, you start watching some of these guys fight so much that you start memorizing things the commentators say. And, like Venado Lopez, Joel Gonzalez, I watched that fight a million times. That fight I watched a million times. Nakano doesn't have no footwork, so I don't agree with that. But I can see where you're getting some similarities. Do you think whoever wins from Jin versus Toro, Japan will put their all into becoming their first welterweight champion? They'd have to. They have to. I would definitely say whether it's Jin or Sora, if Japan ever produces a welterweight champion, I mean that fighter will become one of the biggest stars in boxing. You guys think Inoue selling out a lot? Let one of these Japanese welterweights win a world title. Shit. But I'll tell you this: if Jin can win this fight, which I believe he will, oh man, he's got everything in place to be a superstar from his style to just his personality, how he markets himself. He's probably one of the best marketed fighters as far as self-marketing himself, self-promotion in Japan. A lot of on his own YouTube channel, he's had YouTube shorts do like 7-8 million views. I haven't even had YouTube shorts do 7-8 million views, so he knows a thing or two about how to get his name out there. Um, Shout out to Matt Borgeson with the $5 super chat. He says, "My fear is Inoue leaning back when Nakatani, instead of throwing single combinations, he will throw a flurry and follow him straight back. It's scary." Yeah, well, the same shots that Luis Neri was able to land, I think those same shots are definitely in play here for Junto. Inoue has a lot of habits that he believes in his punching power so much. Inoue believes in the shit that he's throwing so much that sometimes he gets very defensively irresponsible. And if you do that here against Junto, you not Sebastian Hernandez Reyes. You're gonna get put the fuck out. You're gonna get knocked out. So um, I think your concerns are valid. Um, but in the end, and I think Junto is gonna hurt in a way. I think Junto is gonna drop in a way. But in the end, one of the boxing's all-time great warriors is gonna rise from the canvas, and he's gonna stop that guy in the middle rounds at the Tokyo Dome. That's what I believe. But if Junto would win, that would definitely shake the boxing world up. We'd have it'd be a passing of the torch for Japanese boxing, in a sense. I think they would definitely do a rematch if Inoue were to lose, which would be a very lucrative fight. But I'm hoping and I'm praying that doesn't happen because I have my own agendas, I have my own things that I want to happen. And right now, as you guys can see, I'm in the MGM Grand. I have had this vision for a very long time of Naoya Inoue fighting Angelo Leo in this exact same venue for the undisputed featherweight title. That's my dream. So I'm hoping he does what he needs to do. Angelo continues doing what he needs to do, and we can get what I really feel, in my opinion, with all due respect to this fight. I think that's a better fight than this fight, to be honest with you. Shout out to my boy Joel. Joel in the building. What's good, champ? You see me? You see where I'm at right now? We're at the We're here in the illustrious, untouchable MGM Grand Media Room and doing our thing. Now, Eric is asking what he feels is a very pertinent question. So let me try to answer his question to the best of my abilities. He asked a question: why do you hate Hispanic boxers so much? Where are you getting that from? Let me ask you that. Let me respond to your question with a question. Where are you getting that from? Because do you even know who my favorite fighter of all time is? In the chat, let me ask the chat. Let me see how well you guys know True School. Who's my favorite boxer of all time? I'll give you guys about a minute or two to answer that. Since I hate Hispanic boxers so much, who is True School's favorite boxer? I see Inoue is training and he's keeping his hand to his chin after throwing his hook. Yeah, because he has to be ready to block the volume punching of Junto. So BT, how do you like the Ennis Zayas undercard rounded out? Jahai Tucker versus Yuri Stedeno. I haven't had a chance to really flesh it out because I've been busy, but that fight in particular, that one really stands out. You know, Jahai Tucker has been a guy that's fought, with the exception of Yoelis Hernandez, he's fought pretty much any and all comers. Um, it's a big stage for him. I'm happy for him. I want to see him what he does against a guy like Daniel, who's been very steadily progressing up the ranks. I like that fight. Ben Whitaker's on the card. You know, American debut. I know Ben Whitaker. He kind of strikes me more as of an American anyway, so it's a good card. It's a good undercard. And yeah, to my main man Jubes and Jubes got it right. Roman Gonzalez. My favorite boxer of all time is Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez by far. It's not even close. Like that's my favorite fighter of all time. You know, but I hate Hispanic fighters. Mark Wahlberg, the real TBE, yes sir. Yes, sir. The real TBE, the Picasso of boxing, Lil Joe Lewis, Roman Gonzalez, the best. Yo, BT, it's been a while. I entered this live stream. I'm glad I found it this time. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad. I'm happy for everyone that's rocking with me right now. Make sure you show support, hit the like button. Make sure you guys follow Nat Borg as an example, and make it rain some super chats. I'm trying to make this a very fruitful, lucrative May because I got more fights I want to get out to. I got a lot of big things on the horizon with Angel Leo before the Raif Salim fight and definitely after the Raif Salim fight. So yeah. Matt Borgeson says, hot take, I already think Inoue is top 5 greatest fighters under 130 pounds of all time, just pound for pound pure dominance at a championship level. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's crazy. Like, contrary to popular belief, from what people may say on Twitter these days, because on Twitter I be talking crazy and I really want Inoue to come to featherweight. But Inoue is one of my favorite fighters of all time for a reason. He's a guy that I've been covering on this channel since 2015, faithfully more than anybody in American boxing media for a reason, because he's truly one of boxing's all-time greats. Now, you look at Inoue, right? I believe when he fights Nakatani, and y'all can correct me, but I believe the Junto Nakatani fight will be like his 27th or 28th consecutive world championship fight. He won a world title in his, I believe, 4th or 5th fight against Adrian Hernandez. You know, he's probably got more knockdowns. I think I saw a stat somewhere where they said that Inoue has more knockdowns in fights than he does than he's lost rounds, which I'm not sure that's true. I never fact checked that, but it sounds accurate because I feel like I've seen more knockdowns in his career than I've seen, let's say, him losing rounds. Good to see you. BT, what are your thoughts on Derek Scooter Davis? It's funny you mentioned Scooter Davis because I was talking to some of the matchmakers from Top Rank about a month ago, and I asked both matchmakers that I was speaking to, who was like the fighter, the young fighter that you're the highest on, and the answer they both gave back was Scooter Davis. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't cap for nobody here on YouTube. I haven't watched Scooter Davis for myself yet. I've seen clips, but I haven't really sat down and watched the fight. I'm getting ready to do another cycle soon here of prospect and contender reviews. So he's like the first, him, Scooter Davis, Julian Montalvo, Michael Angeletti, and somebody else. Like there's like 4 names I have in my notes for when I do my prospect / contender review series. So when I do that again, I will do a video about it and give you better thoughts. Alim is the mandatory for Angelo Leo since he won the IBF eliminator against Nakano. That's right. That is true. You know what's crazy? When Inoue fought here last year against Cardenas, they Nakano was on the undercard and he fought this Puerto Rican guy. He dropped him like 6 times, and they made man the Tekken Promotions and all these guys. They made what's his name? They made Angelo and Nakano face off. So I thought Nakano and Angelo were going to fight, but Nakano didn't do what he was supposed to do. That's why we going to Atlanta. So hey, shit, wag the finger to him. He says Matt Borges says I don't think people. I think people don't understand how impressive it was to completely shut down Mirza Akhmadaliev for 12 rounds with perfection. Who does that? Rarefied air. Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, and Matt, you've watched me over the years, so I would assume and presume that that I've never really been the highest on Mirza Akhmadaliev. I've always thought he was extremely overrated, but he is still a Olympian. He still was, I believe. Was he undefeated? I think he might have been undefeated, or maybe he had one loss. But either way, not a lot of guys could beat Merjan in that kind of fashion. So I respect it for sure. Listen, Inoue is one of the best fighters. Like he's one of the few guys in boxing that when he actually retires, I'm really gonna miss him. I'm really really gonna miss him when he's gone. And I can't really say that for a ton of fighters. There's probably less than 10 fighters in boxing that when they retire, I can say I'm truly gonna miss them. Like I'm gonna miss Inoue. I'm gonna miss Kenshiro. I'm gonna miss Dave Benavidez. You know, you know what? Even though it's young in his career, and I haven't really thought about him retiring, I'll miss Xander Zayas when he's gone. Because he steps into the play, he fights people. I'm gonna miss Artur Beterbiev. Do you think that Mikita Nakano will be a champion in the future? As long as he doesn't try to come get the IBF belt, he'll be all right. But we'll see. I think Nakano is at an interesting crossroads. He's got a very tough fight against Lorenzo Diamante coming up, which I'm not sure if he's even going to win. He hopefully in this camp, the fine folks at Tekken Boxing Gym, they need to work on his footwork. His footwork is terrible. My man said, I think Japan will set up Yoshiki Takei versus Tenshin Nasukawa if he wins tomorrow. That's a massive fight. I know Mr. Ohashi has already hinted at another Tokyo Dome event. I think for 2027, if they do a Tokyo Dome fight in 2027, um, that's definitely the fight because Tenshin and Takei have a long history from kickboxing. Tenshin was already doing Tokyo Dome fights before Inoue even thought about it. So Matt Borges says, "Who's the Mexican light heavyweight that got the Olympic silver medal? Who's looking like the truth? Do you know the guy I'm talking about? Mexican light heavyweight? I don't know about light heavyweight. I know Marco Verde. But I'm not sure about who you're talking about. So maybe put me on game because I don't know everything. I do my best to learn as much as I can about boxing. There's always fighters on the come up and the come down, but nah, I don't know that guy. BT Canelo stops Christian and Billy. Book it. We'll see. I don't think he's gonna stop Christian and Billy. I was having that conversation yesterday. I don't think he's gonna stop him. I think Canelo fights in spurts too much. I know you can say like, in Billy's a come forward fighter. He's gonna give Canelo a lot of counter punching opportunities, but nah, nah. Marco Verde fights a middleweight. See, shows you what I know. Didn't Marco? So Marco Verde he fought Nishat. Did he fight Nishat Dev? He fought Nishat Dev and Amari Jones and those guys. So that makes sense. If he fought Nishat Dev and Amari Jones, which I know he did, I believe both those guys are at 54. So, but shout out to everybody here. It's your boy BT, Brendan Taylor, the Untouchable, True School Sports Empire. We're here in the MGM Grand Media Room before the Benavidez versus Zordo weigh-in. We took a little training camp with Angelo Leo has concluded, and we're here now, doing what we do best, covering boxing at the highest level, giving you guys that world class boxing content. Just to give you guys a little report on what's going on. Just around the media room. So right now, we had De La Hoya he was in the corner earlier, but I think Oscar De La Hoya just left. Um, We got the lovely Christina Ramirez over there somewhere. We got who else we got here? We don't got anybody that I know in the media. Right? We got Lance Pugmire over there. We got Gabe Rivas from Top Ranks over there. Great translator, publicist. So we're here making it do what it do. That's a good fight. Canelo versus Billy. Credit to Canelo for keeping good fights. I'm not a Canelo fan, but at least he's taking the fight versus a Hungry and Billy. I've never been the biggest Canelo fan over the years, but I'm not a hater. That is a good fight. If Benavidez would have fought Billy, I would have said that's a good fight. In fact, I remember the first video I think I ever made about Christian and Billy back in 2021 or 2022. I'm pretty sure the first thing I said was because Benavidez was still at 168. I said back then, I said, it'd be crazy if Benavidez and Billy fought, which I knew was never going to happen, but I put it out there. Speaking on Nishat Dev, what are your thoughts on him? You think he has potential to contend for a belt? Oh, for sure. Nishat Dev definitely has all the potential in the world to contend for a belt. We'll see how his chin looks when he fights bigger punchers and gets matched a little tougher. But as far as the kind of sparring he's getting, the pedigree that he comes with, and the training that he's getting, it's really just going to be about his durability. I feel he has, he trains with the Shakur Stevenson camp. He's trained by Coach Ron Sims, who I've known for many years. Coach Ron Sims was a real professional. Coach Ron Sims, has been an integral part of the development of Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson in their early days. I like Nishat Dev, but I'm not going to crown him. I know people want to crown him because we've never had a we never had an Indian world champion, and obviously the powers that be in boxing, they so badly want an Indian world champion because economically speaking, that would do a lot for boxing. But there's still a lot of questions I have, conditioning wise, durability wise. But when he keeps you mid range and long, very dangerous guy. I don't see what you saw. He looked very sloppy. No, he's a prospect. He's got 5 fights. Damn near every fighter looks sloppy with 5 fights, but he's got a good foundation in place. I'm not Munguia and Resendiz. I didn't sit there and watch no tape for that fight, so I'm really just if you ask me for a prediction, I'm just gonna give you what I think without even really giving it no critical thought. I'm gonna go with Armando Resendiz. I don't believe in Chaim Munguia. I think Resendiz outworks him. BT Rene Santiago has become one of my favorite current fighters. He's a real stepper. He wants some Siri next. Let's hope that fight gets made. Oh, Rene Santiago's the truth, and I hope he fights Rene Siri, and I hope he beats Rene Siri. And then God willing, when my boy Yugo Osaki gets active again, he needs to come take the real test. Take the real test, and we'll see what's what. Because I want to see Rene Santiago fight Yugo Osaki. That fight's very personal to me because I was in the Bay Area with Yugo, as many of you know. I was in camp with him. He was supposed to fight in a WBO final eliminator, and that was before Santiago started winning all these fights. So that was a fight me and him talked about a lot back then, and I want to see him get that fight or just any world title fight because I think he has the possibility if he gets the fights to beat any light flyweight in the world. Let me see. Did I miss any comments? Canelo relied on volume when he stopped fighters years ago. He hardly throws a volume anymore. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like people are looking at Christian and Billy, and they're like, "Oh, well, he's just gonna come forward," and they think that the Canelo that fought Billy Joe Saunders is gonna pop up and stop him. And he's not that guy anymore. And it's been proven time and time and time again. How many more times it gotta be proven? But we'll see. Who am I to say anything? Canelo Alvarez is gonna get in the ring and get the chance to prove it. So and you know what? One thing I can say, Canelo Alvarez is a proud man. I'm pretty sure he ain't happy that he lost to Terrence Crawford. So he's gonna be pissed off. And sometimes you get the best performances when you're pissed off. I'll tell you guys a personal story. When I was in camp with Angelo Leo, I sparred 25 rounds in total. I sparred 21 rounds with my boy Eric Lanzas Jr., 140 pounder, hits like a fucking truck. All right, and he took me to some real dark places in them sparrings. And I had to either come. Sometimes I didn't have great days, but I would get pissed off and angry and come back and fight better. So I'm saying that to say that Canelo Alvarez could come back and fight better. You know, Christian and Billy is 10 times better than John Ryder, and he put a lot of pressure on Canelo. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think the fight's going. I think the fight's going to. I don't think Canelo's getting stopped, and I don't think Billy's getting stopped. I think that fight's going the distance, regardless. Regardless who you pick, I think the fight's going the distance. Um, I'm going with Billy. I was saying when that fight first got made, when people would ask me about that fight, I was gonna go with Billy, and I'm not gonna back at the block now because the fight might happen. But y'all got any thoughts on Zordo versus Benavidez? I'll tell you guys this: one of the more interesting storylines on this card, and it's on the prelims. I'm talking about like one of the fighters on the prelims. One of the only non-Mexican fighters on this card is this guy named this light heavyweight named Juan Carlos Carrillo, and I know Carlos very well. He's Colombian. He was a Colombian Olympian. He used to train in Miami. He was actually a Benavidez sparring partner, and he's going to be on the prelims. And I knew him when he was like 2-0, and now he's like I think 10-0 or 13-0 or whatever he is. But he's a contender in the light heavyweight division. So remember that name, guys. You guys might see a guy like Ben Whitaker or Najee Lopez or someone like that fight him in the future. And he's on the prelims of this show. Shout out to Matt with the super chat. He says, for Benavidez Zordo, I have it as a story of two fights. Benavidez will dominate the first six, gas out, and then Zordo, with his workmanship, will pay due, and it'll be a draw. That could happen. I mean, there is a world where I think Dave Benavidez could the weight might not allow him to have that kind of work rate late in the fight, but he says otherwise. He says, "Nah, man, I'm still throwing a gajillion punches." So we'll see, but I can see that. Zordo has always been a guy that comes on strong in the second half of the fight. Jan Santana, Brian Norman, and Dietrich Crockham on the Davis Albright undercard. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that just because I love Brian Norman Jr. Like Brian Norman Jr. is one of my favorite fighters. Brian Norman Jr. is one of the reasons why I'm still even on YouTube. To be honest with you, I had Zotto getting washed in this fight, and Zotto makes it worse talking about retirement. That's what I'm saying. He's got he's got that 1 foot. He's got 1 foot out the door, guys. Like this. He's got that 1 foot out the door. What up, Gabe? Good to see you, man. It's a whole 25 pounds. There's no way he will be the same. The only way he would is if he was juiced to the gills like James Toney and Roy Jones. Those guys were on steroids. Well, look, man, we don't want to say too much, but you never know at this level. How would a fight between fighting Harada and Naoya Inoue have gone? I thought Harada might have had the strength to stop Inoue, but Inoue has the skills. That would have been a crazy fight. Fighting Harada, Fighting Harada, I believe he won. He was the Leo champion at was it? I can't remember if it was bantamweight then featherweight or I don't remember, but he was the Leo champion in 2 weight classes when they only had 8 weight classes. So he was a great fighter. I think skill wise and even speed wise, I'd give the edge to Inoue, but strength wise, I would say fighting Harada. It would have been a great fight, but I, I, I like fighting Harada. You guys don't understand. I love fighting Harada. As someone who covers Japanese boxing, I've taken the time to learn about the history of Japanese boxing. I love fighting Harada, but I would go with Inoue. BT with the Stacey Adams. Nah, these joints. That's not Stacey Adams. These are lugs. These are lugs, man. I got lugs. You guys remember lugs? BT, what's going on with Giovanni Lopez's career? Do you think he'd get a push, but his career has been stagnant? You know what's crazy? I interviewed Gio Lopez in this media room when he fought on one of these undercards, and he was fighting. The last time I seen him was around maybe this time last year. He was fighting on Pro Box. You know what it is about Gio? Gio doesn't have like a fan friendly style, and he's really good. So a lot of guys aren't going to rush to fight him. So I would assume that's what it is. But I don't know. I haven't heard anything either. What up, Gabe? Good to see you, man. You all right? What are those? What are those? Bro, are you wearing Uggs? What's going on, BT? You good? Oh, I'm exceptional. I'm doing exceptional, champ. I feel good. I look good. I'm great. I can't complain, man. Now these are Lugs, Lugz. It was a Lugs was like an urban streetwear brand that was really popular in the 2000s. I don't know what Uggs are, but Lugs, Lugz. I don't know what Uggs are. These are Lugs, Lugz. Yeah, Lugz. Fierro might right now might be one of the most undisciplined fighters to miss weight. Yeah, you guys put me on game because they haven't said anything here in the media room, and if they have, nobody's told me. That's crazy. He missed weight against what was it, Pitbull Cruz, and now he misses weight now. So he was fighting Duarte, right? So that's if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was fighting Oscar Duarte. So if Oscar Duarte don't fight tomorrow, that's fucked up. Um, that's fucked up. Oscar Duarte hasn't been having a good run of form as far as getting these fights done. The fight is still on. Good, good. That would have been terrible if Duarte would have had 2 fights scheduled in Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena in the span of less than 2 months, and both of them get canceled. So good for him. He says Lugs was as popular as wearing Southpaw. Terrible. Well, it's funny. I just bought a Southpaw jacket a couple of days about a week ago. So I got a Southpaw jacket and I got Lugs. So you talking crazy, man. Nah, these is man boots. What do fighters usually do when they are done with training camp and waiting for his fight to happen? Every fighter is different, but I mean, you know, light training, rest, a lot of rest. The fighters that are idiots train even harder when their camp is done. But the fighters that are actually good, that are smart, they just keep things light. Dripped out or what? Oh, I'm gonna be dripped out. I'm gonna be dripped out tomorrow on fight night, and I'm definitely gonna be dripped out in Atlanta for the real fight. Let me see. What time is it right now? Hold on, guys. What time is it? So right now, guys, it's 10:32. So I'm gonna go to probably around like 11:15, which I'm not really sure. That probably like what 32, 28, 15. So this live is probably gonna be around like 90 minutes. So at the 90-minute mark, maybe the 100-minute mark, I'm gonna end the live. So get your questions in. Make sure you guys super chat, subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you popping in right now and you not subscribed to True School Sports, what are you doing, man? Join the True School Sports Untouchable Empire of the Home Boxing on YouTube. We're getting to 100,000 day by day. And I'm looking very forward to it because when I hit 100,000, I'm gonna have a party here in Vegas. So um, yeah. Anyway, yeah, Uggs and Lugs are different. If you see Uggs, you'll know what they are. All the bitches wear them. Yeah, see, I don't know about Uggs. I know about Lugs, but I don't know about Uggs. What are the top? What are the most excited? What fight are the most excited for? The top 3 fights. The top 3 most exciting fights this weekend for me, in chronological order, are Jin Sasaki Sora Tanaka, um, Inoue Nakatani, Benavidez Zordo. Those are my 3 for the week. I'm surprised you aren't in Japan for the Inoue Nakatani fight. I would have been in Japan for the Inoue Nakatani fight, but Angel Leo's my priority, right? That's my guy. That's one of my best friends, and I'm part of the team. I'm a very important part of the team. So Angelo's fighting May 9th against Rais Salim in Atlanta. It's scheduled too closely, so that's why I made a tough decision to stay. But for me, it actually wasn't a tough decision because I'd rather be at the Angelo fight anyway. So I'll be in Japan, God willing, by the end of the year. By the end of the year, hopefully, be in Japan, give you guys more great interviews, more great exclusive content you can't get nowhere else, and things like that. But to anybody who is going to Japan, have a great time for me. Go eat some udon noodles and go to Moe's Burger and go get some chicken katsu and all that stuff. You know, what do you think what do you think it is with its a job and tie that makes him dangerous? Like, who are you talking about? It's a job. BT, what do you make of Alan Chavez? Do you think he'll be a force at 135? Well, you know what's crazy is a lot of you guys asked me this question for like the last couple of times I went live. And what up, Marcus? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good, good. Yeah, it is my weekend. I was supposed to go there, but I'm going with Angelo for the fight over there in Atlanta. So yeah.
We definitely want to talk to you about it.
Oh, talk to me about it. Get me on Fight Hub. Get me on KO Artists. Make sure y'all go subscribe to KO Artists Sports, Steven Cordeño, and definitely go fuck with my boy Marcus Haynes over there on Fight Hub. Are you going to Japan for a fight, or are you just gonna hang out and do interviews? If there's any fights in Japan later on this year, I will definitely be attending them. But my target date for when I'm gonna go to Japan, I'm not sure yet, but I would presume sometime between September and December. I'm not sure when, but sometime around that time. And I'm sure there will be fights around that time because there's always fights around that time. So I'm sure I'll go to Corkin Hall. I'm sure I'll be at the Ariake Arena. But I'm definitely gonna. I definitely want to go do some sightseeing. Like I'm trying to go to Okinawa, Japan this time. Matt Borgeson says, I've been disappointed with boxing's fan base lately with how dismissive they are with Zordo. They clearly haven't watched him. It's sad, casuals. Well, that's boxing in general. If people don't know who you are, if the promoters, I don't want to say promoters. If people just don't know who you are, they feel like you ain't nothing. You ain't shit. Like they think of boxing as a job and don't think more about it. Like I said, better be every time I have that mentality, I that mentality. Um, It depends because some fighters who look at boxing as a job don't give it the best effort. It's good to see you, champ. Good to see you guys. Some fighters who look at boxing as a job don't give it the best effort. And then some guys who look at it as a job, like you said, you alluded to Better BF, you alluded to a couple guys, Sugar Ray Robinson. They don't even like boxing and they just beat the shit out of people. So it really just depends on the fighter and what drives them. You know, different fighters are driven by different things. Some fighters, they genuinely just love boxing and want to be remembered as one of the greats. Some fighters just want to get their family out the hood. Some fighters want to be famous so bitches can like them. You know, there's all kinds of there's all kinds of reasons why fighters fight. Is doing a commentary live stream for these fights less lucrative than being at the fights? Sometimes it's more. Sometimes it's more lucrative. You know, it just depends on the fight. I like being at the fight, so I like this. This is what I dreamed about. This is what I signed up for many years ago. So anytime I get a chance to cover boxing in the fight capital of the world of Las Vegas, I'm always gonna grab it with both hands. Do you think Seiya Sutsumi has a few fights left? I'll miss him when he retires. He's one of my favorite fighters, and I'll miss him too. Um, he might literally only have one or two big fights left max because he's been in a lot of wars. Even though he barely squeaked by Donaire, I didn't like what I saw when he fought Donaire. I thought he was very fortunate to get out there with a decision. I'll let him know, man. When I see Canelo, I'll yell at him, and then, it won't be the first time I yelled at Canelo. Is Angel Leo in the ATL right now? No, he's not. He's not. Um, we just got back last night, so no, he's not in the ATL. But we will be there. I, we'll be there probably by the middle of the week. So because fight week starts around Tuesday, Wednesday. So generally speaking, so that's probably when I'll be there. But anybody who's in the Atlanta area, anybody who's in the South, anybody who could just get to Atlanta next weekend, I would highly advise you come to Atlanta next week and definitely come support the champ. Definitely come support me. If you see me or Angelo, say what's up. But yeah, any questions, comments, thoughts, concern, guys? Don't get quiet, me. Hey, Kelly, good to see you. I remember asking you a while back what you thought about Riziki. I had a good feeling Zuffa was going to sign him. His fight with Bill Smith is going to be a brawl. I'm a Ryan Riziki fan. I love Ryan Riziki. I think he's if they had a pound for pound list for the most like exciting action fighters in boxing, Riziki would easily be in the top 5 pound for pound as far as action and that kind of stuff. You know, I've been following him for longer than most. As far as his fight with Chris Billings-Smith, I mean, that's going to be a barn burner. Um, that fight is not a fight that has like Ruzicki is not a sexy name. Chris Billings-Smith's not a sexy name. But if you've seen both them guys fight, if you've seen both them guys rumble, and you know what their styles are going to mesh. And so I think I love the fight. You've been to Japan to watch fights as a fan and to fight with Leo. Which one did you have the most fun with? The uh, you can't really compare. For me personally, you can't really compare anything to an Angelo fight because I know Angelo. Like I'm there for camp. I'm there for them I'm there through the day-to-day grind, the film studying, the running. In fact, I ran with him last night. Me him, and one of the sparring partners, Eric Lances Jr. We ran last night. I'm there with him to the day-to-day, so it's very personal. But nothing compares to Angelo fights for me. But I would say the most fun I ever had in Japan watching any fight was probably when I went to the Inoue fight ringside, and that was a different experience. Did I eat good food in New Mexico? I mean, New Mexico's full of great food, so yeah, plenty. Sopapilla, green chili, everything. I wanted floor seats to the Ford and Foster fight, just the original. Wait. Oh, they sold out already. So the is the Ford versus Foster fight? Everything's moving well. Tickets is going well. I'm all over the place, man. I've been all over the place. Don't worry about where I'm at, guys. All you need to know now is I'm in Las Vegas. So right now, guys, just to give you guys a report, a synopsis on the media room now. Um, Luis Takuba Senior's over there. Leon Margulies from Warriors Boxing's over there. Um, it's starting to fill up a bit more. It's starting to get that big fight feel. Here at the MGM Grand Media Room. Oscar De La Hoya's over there doing interviews on Press Row with some of the podcast radio guys. You got Caden Griffiths, the Golden Boy prospect over there. Are you going to be linking up with Zattel? When Sean gets here, I'm going to be sitting next to Sean because that's me and Sean. We're attached at the hip. It's the Zattel True School Zattel era. So, yeah, as soon as Sean gets here, we'll definitely be linking up. We'll definitely be making some videos together this week. They went on sale yesterday at 10. I was able to get 2 floor seats. Oh, it's only a 7,000 seat arena. Well, that makes sense. Ford and Foster, they're good fighters, definitely world class, but they're not superstars, ticket movers like that. So that makes sense. Same thing with Angelo versus Aleem. Angelo and Raís Aleem, they're fighting at the Gateway Center, which is only 5,000 seats. And Angelo and Raís Aleem are not from the South, they're not from Atlanta, but they've stacked the undercard with a bunch of Atlanta fighters and Atif Overton. So it'll be good. Sergey Derevyanchenko versus Edgar Berlanga on Zuffa Boxing. That sounds very Zuffa. That sounds like a fight they would make. I could see it. I could see it happening. Um, what up? What up? How's the vibe out there? So far, what I can tell you is it's definitely a lot better than the last fight I came to here because I came here and I covered Thurman Fundura and the media turnout. I mean, the media we have in here already. I'm going to show you guys. Look, let me see. We got the media. As you guys can see, look. It's going to sound crazy, but there's probably just as much media here right now as there was when Thurman and Fundura fought. So it's good to be here. This feels like an MGM Grand uh, media room caliber fight. Obviously, the fight's at T-Mobile Arena, but for those that know, for those that don't know, whenever they have fights at the T-Mobile Arena, they still allow the media to use the MGM Grand Media Room. They still open it up for the media. So yeah, look, just to give you guys a little view, right? Just what's going on, right? You got over there. You got over there. De La Hoya is like over there somewhere. That's what it is. So, and we're still like 2 hours and some change away from the actual weigh-in, which will be in the actual arena. So, I'm pretty sure it's open to the public. So, if you're out in Vegas, come out and support, Zordo and Benavidez. I remember when the rumors were Angel Leo versus Rafa being on the undercard for Benavidez. Yeah, I never believed that. I didn't think that was going to happen. It didn't make sense. Um, like it made sense from a commercial standpoint, but I'm saying boxing politics wise, I just didn't think it was going to happen, and I was right. And I'll tell you guys this, man. Rafael Espinoza, after this fight, bro, let's just beat Ryan Salim because after this fight, I'm putting the full court press on Rafael Espinoza. One of the guys from his team was on Instagram with Marco Antonio Barrera running his mouth talking about Angelo ducked the fight or pulled out, or trying to make it sound like Angelo was scared of it. Come on, man. We ain't scared of no Rafael Espinoza. He's tailor made for Angelo. And that's what people don't understand yet is that he's actually tailor made for Angelo. And I just pray to God that he keeps winning and he keeps that belt until Angelo gets that fight. A lot of people are gonna be very, very surprised. I would send top rank messages to bring Faustin Delgado because a lot of people here from the state like Rodolfo Delgado. Okay. Have you seen Dave before? This is my second time watching him fight in person. The first time I saw Dave Benavidez fight in person was when he fought Alexander Gvozdyk on the undercard of Frank Martin versus Gervonta Davis. So Figgy might get it next. Brandon Figueroa probably will get it next because Brandon Figueroa is the most beatable champion out of everybody at featherweight. So and on top of that, I just think that PBC is gonna want to try to, you know, get in on get some of that Inoue money, cash out while they can. BT, do you see reports that Fig is aiming for Inoue over Rafa? Well, I wanna say this, guys. That report that came out yesterday from Chava, and shout out to Chava, great reporter. That's not unique. Everybody from 122 to 130 is aiming for Inoue over whoever the fuck they're supposed to fight. So that's not unique to him, but it means something because Rafa and Figueroa had a fight done supposedly. So I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean that's what I thought he was gonna do. I know who Inoue is not gonna fight first, and he ain't gonna fight Angelo first. And I want to be very clear. When you guys hear me say, "Oh, Inoue is not going to fight Angelo Leo first," I'm not saying that like to talk trash about Inoue, and I'm not saying that to talk shit. I'm talking about things I actually know, like stuff I actually know from talking to people actually in the fight game. Like True School, I haven't heard your breakdown on the rest of Inoue and Nakatani. That's how I feel. Rafael Espen, guys, can you hear me by any chance? Because I just got a phone call, so sometimes the audio I know cuts out. Did you guys hear me? Sean Tatel is calling my phone right now. Hopefully Sean just pops in here so I can tell him I'm still live. Oh, I was saying that as far as Jin versus Sora Tanaka, I don't really view it as a 50-50 fight. I think it's a good fight, but I think Jin is just better than Sora. So they both have leaky defense. I think Jin hits harder. I think Jin is more athletic. I think Jin is actually closer to a welterweight than Sora is. Sora shouldn't even be a welterweight. If Jin loses to Sora Tanaka, I will be incredibly disappointed. I think Bruce Carrington is just as beatable. I do too. I do too. I agree. And Muniz Gambo says Rafael Espinoza is too chinny to beat Inoue and much too body hit for Inoue. And I think Leo would beat him because Leo has the chin to take one to give one. He does. He's been in there with real punchers. Been in there with he got what 27 pro fights. Never been down one time. Never even came close to being down one time. Espinoza's never fought or sparred anybody on that level. BT with Spence versus Zoo official. Who do you favor? It's hard to say. I would say Tim Zoo because it's in Australia, and Tim Zoo doesn't lose in Australia. He's like a whole different fighter in Australia. But I would say, yeah, I'll say Tim Zoo. I mean, Spence hasn't fought in 3 years. Tomorrow is the Tim Zoo Earl Spence press conference right here in the MGM Grand Media Room, so I'll be there at the press conference. And yeah, I just saw that Benavidez weighed 196.8 while Zordo weighed 200 pounds. Yeah, they must have already did the regular weigh-ins. The ceremonial ones will be at noon. So in like 15 minutes, guys, I'm gonna get off this live because I have to go get my seat for the weigh-in. But for the next 15 minutes, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Definitely super chat. I appreciate everybody for the support. If you haven't heard me say it already, like I did earlier in the live a couple times, I want to thank everybody who tunes in and contributes to the channel and supports it because I'm not here at the MGM Grand covering these fights if it's not for you guys, the viewers. And I'm really appreciative of it. So thank you guys so much, and I'm gonna continue to do my best to give you guys the best content I possibly can. Alan Chavez versus Sam Noakes. Who do you think wins? Oof. Well, first and foremost, the boxing fans. That's a banger. Um, I would favor Alan Chavez just because I think Noakes' defense is more leakier, and Chavez has that one hitter quitter. I mean, they both have great power, but I think Alan Chavez sets a shot. It's the way he sets up and delivers his shots. His delivery system is crazy. So I think um, Alan Chavez wins a shootout, like a 7-round shootout. Diego Pacheco with Buddy McGirt now. Him, Zoo, and Munguia change trainers too much. Well, that's the case for a lot of these fighters. A lot of these fighters, they change trainers like girls change clothes. So um, I'm not surprised. I mean, I like Pacheco. I mean, Diego is a friend of the program. I've been knowing Diego since he was a prospect back in like 2019 or 2020. And I've always held Diego in a pretty good regard. I've always said that he's Matchroom Boxing USA's best fighter from the guys they've signed straight from the amateurs. I still think he can become a world champion, but my belief has been getting tested recently. Buddy McGirt, I think, will be a good fit for him because Buddy McGirt knows how to stay long and keep guys at the end of their punches, which is what I feel Pacheco needs to do to be his best self. BT, do you think Ramon Cardenas versus Sebastian Hernandez Reyes is possible this year? 1,000%. Not only do I think it's possible, I think it's a fight that should happen. They're both two of the top 122 pounders. Styles mesh really, really well. One guy fought Junto, and I thought he beat Junto. The other guy fought Inoue and almost knocked him out. So they're both two of the best in the division, and they both are trying to get on that top level. So why not? What are your thoughts on Andre Katsurakis versus Misai Rodriguez on May 10th? Good fight. I think it's a fight where both guys, you got two really physically strong fighters. Misai Rodriguez, he's coming from the Robert Garcia stable. Olympian. It's a pick 'em fight. I might hedge slightly towards Rodriguez, but really good fight. For all you guys in the chat, let me know where are you guys tuning in from today. What city, what state, what continent, what country? I'm trying to see how international we are on the broadcast. So you guys know I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, but where are you guys from? Anybody from Florida in the building, or New York, or Texas, or New Mexico, or Georgia? Where's everybody from? We got Washington D.C. in the building. South Texas is in the building. D.C. got a lot of people from D.C. in here. H-Town, Houston, Waterbury, Connecticut. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to Connecticut. Can you start booing when you see Canelo at the fight or conference? To start, um, you know, I'm working right now, so I'm gonna keep it professional, man. I'm gonna leave that to the fans. Washington State in the building. Okay. Shout out to everybody out there in the world. Thank you for tuning in. We got uh we got 10 minutes left. We got 10 minutes left, guys, and I'm gonna end the live because I gotta start getting ready to get my place. Did Collazo put a post? Where you live at? Right now. I'm in the MGM Grand. I'm in Vegas. So look, you guys go look. So right now we're just here. It's the calm before the storm, before the weigh-in, and then tomorrow's fight night. By the way, guys, tomorrow, hold on. Tomorrow is probably going to be one of the busiest days in the history of True School Sports because midnight Pacific time, midnight 1 or 2 in the morning Pacific time. I'm gonna be live for Inoue Nakatani, right? That's probably gonna run me like 3 to 6 hours, right? Then when that's done, I gotta get some coffee. Then I gotta come here to the same media room for the Tim Zoo Earl Spence press conference. I'll be there for that. Then you got the Boxing Fan Expo, which I don't think I'm gonna go to the Boxing Fan Expo, but it's there. It's optional. I can go if I want to. So I might go there and try to get some content. If I don't go to that, I still have Benavidez Zordo fight night. So then I got to cover that, get my interviews, come here, go to the press conference. Then after the press conference, I'm going to come here and go live right after the fight for the immediate aftermath. So tomorrow, y'all better just have the notifications on tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of content coming out here on the channel. Definitely just stay tuned. It's going to be a really, really fun day. BT, have you seen the Boots and Bud back and forth? Could you see Bud coming out of retirement for that one? I'm going to give you guys, I have a whole video I want to do on this later on, but I'll give you guys my thoughts on it now here in the live. So I've seen a lot of people taking sides with Crawford. I've seen a lot of people taking sides with Jaron Ennis. Look, I'm an adult. I can compartmentalize. Two things can be true. It is possible that Terrence Crawford didn't really see any value in fighting Jaron Ennis and did avoid the fight because he thought it would do nothing for his career. There is truth in that. However, there is also truth that Jaron Ennis and his team are fucking incompetent and didn't do what they needed to do to make the damn fight happen. So when I start hearing that one guy ducked the other guy, I feel like they both were complicit. They both had a part to play in why the fight didn't happen. I do think though what I will say about Bud is that Bud was the A side. Bud was the guy that could have really made the fight happen. I feel like if Bud would have shown the urgency to fight Boots, then maybe Boots and his team would have actually found a way to get the fight done. That's my opinion, but who cares? He's retired. He's not coming out of retirement. Like he had a great career. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's an all-time great, 5 division champion, 3-time undisputed, all that blase. Boots better just worry about beating South Florida's very own Xander Zayas because he might fuck around and get outboxed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Terrence Crawford, right now, Terrence Crawford's he's experiencing a feeling that I've already experienced many times, which is being in Japan. He's in Japan right now. What you worried about draw Ennis for? You know? But just to let everybody know, because the whole talk has been about Crawford and Boots that they would have fought. I think Bud would have beat him. I think he would have counterpunched him and beat him on points. Let him. You know what? I can't say let him stay retired because the only reason that I'm talking about this and you guys are asking me about it is because he literally went on Twitter and went on a whole rant about Jaron Ennis. If he didn't go on a rant about Jaron Ennis, people wouldn't talk about it. Hyro says, tell Sean that Vegeta got power hungry and ended his own demise against Majin. I'm coming after you if Inoue loses because I'm not going off one fight like you are. I mean, look, I've said Inoue, I think Inoue's going to get dropped in the fight, but in the end, he's still going to find a way to win. I'm hoping they put Daniel Ilusinov on the June 6th UK card. I'm not going to say who, but there was a fight that I heard about a month ago when I was here in Vegas at Top Rank Gym for Daniel Ilusinov. It wasn't a big name, but it was an exciting fight. It was supposed to be on Zuffa Boxing, but I haven't heard it get announced since, so maybe it's not happening. But I don't want to say what it is because you never know who's watching, and I'm not trying to get in trouble. So, but guys, we got 5 minutes left, and then I'm gonna dip. So if you got anything to say, if any of you haven't smashed a like button, go do that. If y'all want to get your super chat and get that in as well. We're here in the MGM Grand Media Room. Let me see. Give me 1 second, guys. How you doing? Let me see what time it is. Check my battery. Uh, that'd be a good fight. So right now it's 11 o'clock. Is the MGM open yet to go like sit to 12? Okay. Damn. Okay. All right. So right now it's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock, guys. So we'll go like 5 more minutes and then I'll go ahead and I'll wrap it up. But get your comments in. I think boxing needs Tank. What do you think, True? I mean, needs. I don't think needs. He's the reason why. I mean, like he's not fighting. So I mean, I'm not. I can't get mad at a guy who's not trying to really fight. He doesn't want to fight right now. But if he fights Pitbull Cruz in a rematch, that would definitely inject a lot of life into boxing. I'm sure I'd come here to Vegas and this media room would be just as full, if not more full, for Tank and Pitbull Cruz. My man says the GOAT is live. No, shout out to you, Sebastian. Good to see you, champ. Hope your training's going well. You talk so much smack about Earl Spence, but you're going to his press conference. Deep down, you like Spence. I'm going to his press conference because I just happen to be here. I'm going to this fight just because I just happen to be here. Like, if truth be told, I want to just be chilling. I want to chill and just hang out before the Angelo fight. But we gotta make money. We gotta keep this channel going. So, do you know what time? Xander Zaya is just called Boots overrated. I mean, he'll get his chance to prove what's what when they fight. So kudos to him. What are your thoughts on Gervonta Davis versus Floyd Schofield if they fight? I love that fight. I think it's a fun fight. I think you know, I was here in Vegas and I covered the fight when Floyd Schofield fought Rene Talise Garon. That was a fight where Floyd, he was very explosive, but I think he showed a bit of being a front runner in that fight. Um, Tank doesn't have the greatest durability in the world. I don't think he has this great chin, and he's been matched like that for the majority of his career. I think it'd be a fun fight. Um, that fight's all about whoever lands the first significant shot first. So if that fight got made, I know I mentioned Pitbull Cruz too. I probably would like that fight, maybe even more than Pitbull Cruz. I like Schofield. I'm a Floyd Schofield fan. I like Floyd. He's flawed, yes. He's got his things about him, but he's fun. He's fun. He's explosive. He's athletic. He's shifty, and he makes for good fights. Um, so from what I've read, the Inoue Nakatani main event will start at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 5 a.m. Pacific time, and around 8 a.m. Eastern time. So that would be what? Yeah, I don't know what that is Central. Tank's just pissed. Period. I think Tank has a lot of stuff going on outside the ring. Um, and I'll be honest, I think it'll be a real fun build up seeing Tank piss off or seeing Floyd Schofield's dad piss off Tank. And I think the food, look, guys, see, my favorite part about one of my favorite parts about covering fights at the MGM Grand, Sheldon Boxes, I believe that's food. The food's just arrived because I was just sitting here and I'm seeing all the media just descend upon this one area. So I believe the food has arrived. Let's see what they have. Let's go see the food. Nah, you know what's crazy? I've never seen Al Heyman. Never, not once. You know
He said cold turkey. That's a dangerous move.
what they got?
Turkey.
Turkey. We see what they got. See, they got barbecue chicken. What else we got? Veggies. What's over here? See what they got. What they got over here? They got turkey and Swiss cheese.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'll probably just eat the.
I think we're gonna go with the barbecue chicken. So they got potato salad, lunch, potato salad, chocolate chips. Hey, what more do you want? Yeah, I get to eat some. Yeah, you see it? Putting this shit right here. That's the best part. Now it's not every fight. Don't. It's not like we get fights. It's not like we get food for every fight. Some promoters don't have the kind of money to order a bunch of nice food for the media. But whenever they have fights at T-Mobile Arena or MGM Grand, they always have food for the media. So it's always great. That's why I get here early. Actually, I'm trying to eat. I'd love to get on the podcast one day. I've been watching your channel for a while. Mayhem. Is that Moten? That's the. Are you the heavyweight? Are you the heavyweight? You spar with Anthony Joshua, and I think you spar my boy Lorenzo Medina. Is that you? Am I tripping? Big, yeah, yeah, Karma. Big back activities. I'm all about those big back activities, those BBAs. Oh shit. Okay, I didn't know that you even watch me like that. Was it? I'm pretty sure I'm getting your first name. It's not. Is it Mayhem? What was your first name? I know it was Mayhem. Mayhem Mo. When you sparred Anthony Joshua, you sparred Lorenzo Medina. You've been in camp with a lot of guys. I just can't remember your first name for some reason. I didn't even know you watched me, man. So I appreciate the support. I appreciate the love. Um, I don't know if you're on Twitter or Instagram. Send me a message. Send me a message on Instagram, like at JustAKidFromDania. If somebody in the chat could type in my Instagram, that'd be great. And if not, their Twitter at True School Sports, the same way it's spelled. So make sure everybody show their love and their appreciation for Mayhem Moen, the heavyweight, in the comments. Uh, yeah, you see it. I got my lunch box, man. So you guys know this live's coming into an end because your boys got to eat. You know, talking on this camera gets me hungry, and I got some people in this medium I want to go say hi to that I really really want to go say hi to. See, but yeah, for those, yeah, we all get to eat. What do they say in Paid in Full? They say everybody eats. B. Hyro says, is it only one person or can you get more food? I mean, well, look. I mean, if I were to clear this box out right now, let's just say hypothetically, if I wanted to clear this barbecue chicken wrap lunch box out right now, you see all them boxes? They still got boxes there. So yeah, it's not against the rules. I've seen plenty of people be in here be big. I've seen some big backs in this media room. I've seen some real deal big backs over the years. I'm not gonna say no names, but not everybody in the boxing media is necessarily health conscious, and I'll leave it at that. San Antonio in the building. What's up, Karma? What's good? y'all are fucked up. You say shout out to Dan. Y'all automatically assume I was talking about Dan Raphael. Well, guess what? I was. He was one of the guys I was talking about. You're correct. All the stories is true. I've seen it. But you know what? All respect to Dan Raphael. He's a legend in the game. You can't be out here disrespecting the OGs. Who do you guys think is a big back in the boxing media besides Dan? Yes. So it's getting more packed now. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya's over there mucking it up with somebody. Look, there's Oscar. I'm gonna show you guys. There's Oscar right over there. There's Oscar De La Hoya talking to someone. So it said, "Oh man, y'all are going off." I'm not gonna tell you guys any more than Dan. Dan, everybody knows Dan is kind of what he is, but y'all saying other people's names, so I don't wanna throw nobody under the bus. You know, I'm here to lift people up, not bring them down. Boo Willie, that's fucked up. Oscar ain't asked you for an autograph. No, I mean, you know what's crazy? Somebody for the first time when I was out and about recently at a fight at like a small club show at a small club show. Somebody actually asked me for my autograph for the first time. I've never had nobody ask me for my autograph because you know I don't look at myself as a big celebrity. I'm just a guy who makes videos on YouTube, but I guess some people do. So some you know, can we see your food? I mean, y'all are some fat asses. Hold on. I mean, look. So this is what we got right now for the Can you guys hear me? Yes or no? Can you hear me in the chat? Yes or no? Can you hear me? Okay. What I was saying is, I'm just a regular guy. Like I don't look at myself as a celebrity. But if anybody asks for an autograph, I'll give them one. You know, who am I? No, not yet. Just so you guys know, the Donna, because him and Johnny Man's over. Sean Tatel just arrived, guys. So I'm definitely gonna have to get up off here in like 3 minutes because I want to talk to Sean and eat my food. But yeah, yeah. If y'all wanted a true school autograph, I'll give you one. Even though I don't look at myself like that. Starting to really tighten up here. I'll tell him here in a second. Sean, Sean, how you doing? The chat is telling me that Vegeta lost to Frieza.
Right. Nakatani doesn't strike me as an evil purple guy.
Yeah,
He's very nice. Maybe he is Goku.
maybe.
Maybe. Maybe he's the lower class Saiyan Kakarot. Maybe yeah.
Yeah.
And now yeah, Inoue is the warrior elite who can't lose to low level trash.
That's right, trash. That's right. He pretty much said that. He pretty much said, "I can't lose
Vegeta,
to
man.
someone like Junto Nakatani."
He's Vegeta.
Yeah,
He's the king of all Japanese fighters.
that's right.
The prince of all Japanese.
That's right. How do you feel, Sean? You good today?
I'm good, man. Just want to get a good see. I got the Salvador Sanchez.
Got the Salvador Sanchez shirt on.
And after a week of sitting back and observing, I think I know the story of this week now. So,
What do you feel the story of this week is?
okay, so, and I will say this on my channel after the weigh-in too.
Okay.
I think you know it's funny. I asked Julio Cesar Chavez yesterday about
Went viral.
is Benavidez really Mexican? And he actually gave a much more favorable answer than people looking to run with the narrative that he is not, because he's mixed with a little bit of Ecuadorian and Dominican. He's born here in the United States. When in actuality, my wife, who's Mexican, she translated to me that he says, "I hope he can do it. He deserves it." But the truth is, respectfully, nobody knows him in Mexico,
Yeah.
right? So that brings us to this occasion, right? And he wasn't able to get Canelo, but he was able to get the date. And this is his consolation prize against a Mexican champion. Not a guy that he's an underdog to, but a guy he is the smaller man to.
And someone who's really credible as well.
Right, and so Chavez, he may, even if you want to run with that Chavez feels he's not really a Mexican. Julio Cesar Chavez walked out Fernando Vargas to the ring against Oscar De La Hoya. What's up, Brian? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man. And so that means by Chavez's own admission through his own actions in that fight in 2002 against Oscar, you know, a Mexican American can get over with real Mexicans. And my wife even said what's funny about it, and both of her parents are from Mexico. She was born in Los Angeles like Oscar. And she's like, if you go, okay, I'm not Mexican, then they go, what do you mean? You're Mexican. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But then if you go, I'm Mexican,
Go,
you're not
no,
Mexican.
you're not. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right. I say all that to say this. It doesn't matter for Benavidez if they ever verbally say, you're one of us. You're a real Mexican. It doesn't matter. They never said that about Oscar De La Hoya.
They still came out and bought his fights and
that's all
bought
that
tickets
matters.
and supported him.
All that matters is that, what's up, Chris?
Hi, Chris.
Is that when you fight, they pay attention. Whether it's buying the pay-per-view, whether it's getting a ticket, it doesn't matter whether they verbally ever acknowledge you. The actions speak louder than the words. So again, Oscar De La Hoya telling us yesterday, I'm a pocho, I'm a gringo, all that. He sold more revenue than any fighter from Mexico.
Correct.
And you can't tell me that some of that revenue wasn't derived from people
He had a
born
McDonald's
in
endorsement deal.
Well, that's American.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like he was able to. The Mexican fans allowed him to be who he was in the sport. That's what I'm saying, to get things like that.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. So as long as you stay in the winner's bracket, and here's what's interesting about this weekend. I can foresee a scenario where Benavidez takes a hit with the purists, with the hardcores, where he struggles in this fight. I definitely think he's going to win. I think he likes the air up here. Do you know what I mean? I think he likes the air up
the
here.
Big lights, being the guy. They're coming out to see me.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to relinquish that. And I think if it comes down to a battle of will in this fight, which it might, then I think he's going to want it a little bit more, and he's going to step on the gas more than Gilberto Ramirez.
Especially because he's not talking about retirement.
That too, right. Yeah. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a minute.
You say he likes the air up here.
He likes the air up here, and what I could foresee is a scenario. And by the way, if you're a Mexican hardcore fan, that kind of overlaps, and this doesn't pertain to you. But I'm talking about regular Mexican boxing fans who aren't boxing degenerates like us and keep up with every part of the sport. I could foresee a scenario where Benavidez looks vulnerable, and in the words of purists, it looks a little exposed. To where people are saying, man, Jayo Pataya would beat his ass, and Bivol, when he goes back down to light heavyweight, is going to beat him. But I could see that stock going up with the Mexican and Mexican-American public, because their first and foremost priority, as long as you win, is to see a fight that's actually entertaining. And I think this fight will be entertaining. So even if he wins with vulnerability, even if he doesn't blow Ramirez out of the water, but he gets the job done in an exciting night, then his stock's going to go up with them, even if it simultaneously takes a little bump with the purists, who a lot of them are waiting to give him a bump anyways.
That's okay, because a lot of the purists are like fickle and finicky sometimes. So, you know, get the casual fans.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what I think the story of the night is. The week is he couldn't get Canelo, but he got the date. And this is his consolation prize. It's a steep level down consolation prize. Like, you know, Zordo isn't some famous Mexican champion, but he is a Mexican champion from Mexico, and he is the bigger man. So, now I remember what I was going to say too is me and Brendan, we left out of the T-Mobile when Canelo beat Berlanga, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the kind of Mexican fans I'm talking about, who just keep up with the stars and aren't crazy boxer degenerates like us, they thought they saw a great show. They thought Canelo Berlanga they were like, man, that Berlanga did good. And what it was is it's not that they really thought Berlanga did good. It's that he did good enough to give them something of a show. And their guy won.
Yeah, so it was great. Right. It was perfect storm.
Right. So to that point, if he comes out looking vulnerable and your real watchful eye boxing fans are saying, oh, he got exposed a little bit in this area and that area, all they're going to know is the guy that was advertised as the Mexican Monster won.
Won.
And it was exciting. A good fight.
And I like this guy, and I can't. When does he fight again?
Or even if they're not willing to admit they like the guy,
yeah.
they're going to watch him again. So this week is about tugging them along, even the begrudging Canelo psycho fans. Even the ones that'll always hate him because of their loyalty lies with Canelo.
Yeah.
So that's what this week's about. Can he move the needle, however small or big, because this isn't the Canelo fight, toward it. And here's the thing. Last time I checked, the guy who has these dates is the motherfucking guy.
Oh, boxing.
Whether that was Floyd or Canelo or Oscar or when Manny had it against Marquez, et cetera, et cetera. Last time I checked, the guy, or Inoue last year.
Oof.
Inoue had this date last year because Canelo was in Saudi, and Inoue's the motherfucking guy. So David's not quite the motherfucking guy. This is his motherfucking guy.
But this is
opportunity arc.
It's a big step.
Yeah.
It's a huge step, you know?
So that's the story of this week. The whole theme, I think the reason why. What's up, Spit Bucket? I think. Yeah, thanks, bro.
Thank you.
I think the reason that clip with Chavez went viral is because it touches on the whole. It encapsulates the whole theme of this weekend. It's the 30th anniversary of when De La Hoya and Chavez fought. The name of the fucking documentary is La Guerra Civil, the Civil War. And it was a Chicano fighter against a fighter from Mexico.
Same thing, same scenario playing itself out here.
So when Chavez and I asked my mother-in-law, who's Chilanga, who's from Mexico City, I said, Mom, what'd you think of it? What'd you think of Chavez's quote? She went, 50-50. Meaning, I get what he's saying. Yeah, of course, he's not from Mexico, and he's not. She goes, but he's Mexican.
Yeah,
and that that touches on the cultural dynamic of the fight. That Mexicans are in my comments saying, "Oh, this is how we have it, bro. If we try to say we're American, we're not really American. We're Mexican. We try to say we're Mexican, we're not really Mexican. We're American." And guess what? That's some polarization. That's getting people to think and feel something. And I think that's why the Chavez quote had some resonance. And that's what put some fire in the pot for the whole dynamics of a fight like this. Not that Zordo brings a whole lot of fire in the pot. Zordo's here to be the supporting actor. And, and he may hurt Benavidez. He may drop Benavidez. I said before, Oscar said to start the week off, he has the better chin than Benavidez. But I think ultimately he will play his part as a supporting.
Huh? You don't think he has enough firepower, Benavidez? Zordo.
I think he, and it's possible. He could. I think he has enough firepower to make some scary moments, to hurt Benavidez, to drop Benavidez. But I don't think Benavidez will be denied.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be denied.
Yeah, he seems very iron-willed, like just in everything he's doing and saying. And I mean, I remember being in the same media room, Sean, the first time I covered Benavidez live when he fought Vosnik, and he was on that podium. This dude literally cried. He cried because he couldn't get a knockout against Vosnik.
He said he was crying because he had a death in his family.
Yeah, death in his family. But
I thought the same thing you did.
He meant it meant so much to him to get a knockout for his fans, and when he didn't deliver it, he felt like he was genuinely disappointed to the point where he had tears. So that's, to me, that makes Benavidez special. It's not so much anything he does in the ring. I mean, although he's awesome in the ring, it's just the mentality that he comes to boxing with.
Yeah,
it's a throwback mentality.
He said something a couple weeks ago that I was almost kind of mad because I was like, I said this on Sean's show 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. He said I have the same birthday as Manny Pacquiao. He came up in the wild card while his brother would spar Pacquiao. Mm-hmm. His brother was supposed to become the superstar and should have become a star.
Correct.
Was an underachiever. But he basically said, in so many words, I'm a Pacquiao disciple. And remember, I said that about him years ago. I said, look, a lot of the guys, and this is no knock on either discipleship, which isn't a word, but a lot of the guys are under the Floyd Mayweather school of boxing.
Yeah.
Shakur, Tank, Devin, Keyshawn, etc., right? Benavidez is under the Manny Pacquiao school, which is, I want to be top 10 pound for pound, but I also want to be top 10 most exciting fighters.
I want to be box office.
There's the lineage of a Sugar Ray Leonard, a Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, and then there's the lineage of Julio
Chavez,
Cesar Chavez,
Pacquiao.
the Roberto Duran, the Pacquiao, the Joe Frazier, the fighter that is willing to get hit and can win on the elite level, but is almost has as much priority in being offensive and being exciting as they do is winning. Whereas the other school is just about winning, and that's why 2 times out of 3, usually that school beats the other school. But the other school, the Pacquiao, Duran, etc. school, can sometimes leave behind more endearing and memorable moments in the eyes of many fans. So that's Benavidez. And just to let you know, it's not a Benavidez slurp fest. I do think the Canelo stuff has run its course. It's gotten old, and he goes, everybody keeps asking me about it, and it's like, yeah, but you always supply he's a pussy quote. They're gonna ask again and again.
And now he's coming here, so it's gonna intensify that much more.
And I think Canelo's gonna leave after Munguia. So this whole narrative, he's coming to watch me. I think, I could be wrong. Maybe he will stick around. Maybe there will be some interaction there, and if it does, that'll go viral.
That'd be amazing.
That'll overshadow the fight, actually. But I think I'm leaning towards Canelo's going to leave after Munguia because that ship has sailed. That fight lost its luster as soon as Canelo lost to Terrence Crawford. And the real fight is him and Dimitri Bivol. Here's just me, okay? What I would like to hear at this point, and the choir of Benavidez being ducked by Canelo was I led the chorus, okay? Like from 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. I made Canelo frustratingly end press conferences over bugging him about David Benavidez. Canelo was always a professional about it. He professionally ducked him like a gentleman with me, the great Canelo Alvarez. I would love to hear David say something like, you know what? It's a shame. And this is just my opinion. I think this would play well. You know, it's a shame I never got to fight Canelo. You guys all know I believe he did avoid me. But the truth is, I respect Canelo. He's a great fighter. I wanted the opportunity to take the torch from him. I believe I was very capable of doing so. But I've come to accept it's never going to happen.
It wasn't meant to be.
And so, how about this? How about Dimitri Bivol picks on a Mexican his own size? How about I want get back for the Mexican people to beat the fighter that Canelo couldn't beat? I want to beat Dimitri Bivol. And I think that would go away. But, you know, David's got to be himself. He wants to call him a fucking pussy.
If he did do that, that would go super viral.
Yeah.
All the Mexican pages on Instagram will post that.
They'd be like,
yeah.
Get
this guy.
So that's Bivol is the legacy fight right now, not Canelo.
Or Beterbiev.
Or Beterbiev, send Beterbiev to retirement.
Yeah,
I mean, that's honestly what he should do at their ages. This isn't...
Like if this fight was what it was 3 years ago. Or
if this is the Beterbiev that fought Joe Smith, Beterbiev is probably a slight favorite.
Yeah.
You know, I think Benavidez stylistically always had kind of
an advantage
matchup against Beterbiev, but now at Beterbiev's age, into his 40s, that's a fight he's supposed to win, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he would win. So, but Bivol is the
legacy fight.
He's he's the real undisputed light heavyweight champ. He's one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time.
Beat Canelo.
That's the one right now. So, yeah, that's how I look at it. And God, I'm giving Brennan most of the video here.
Yeah, let me.
You know, it's one thing that's disheartening for me, and it's a tale as old as time. And this is what I mean by he likes to air up here. I've seen this movie before. Fighters, their entourages swell. They get multiple publicists. They're less accessible than they once were. And that's, for someone in our position, a little disheartening, especially when you cover a guy on the rise.
As a prospect, yeah.
Right. And, but when I said, last time I checked, the guys who have this date, they're the guy, right? Crawford's entourage swelled. Pacquiao's entourage swelled. Mayweather's entourage swelled. Ali, that's part and parcel of becoming a star. And I do think Benavidez is becoming a star. Is he going to sell, have the gate Canelo would have at T-Mobile? Is he going to do the pay-per-view? No.
Or Cowboy Stadium. He's not going to do that.
But this week is about a step towards his arc in that.
And it's about boxing, too, finding its next potential superstar in the sport.
Yeah, or at least next legit star. I mean, he was on Stephen A. Smith this morning.
Yeah.
You know, people there's people that are casual fans that fuck with David Benavidez, but can he win over his what's supposed to be his base? And that's what this fight is about, you know. And again, they don't gotta verbally say it. Mexican people don't get down like that anymore. I know a lot of the Mexican fans that have fathers from Mexico. A lot of them don't tell you "I love you." They're not with the emotional, sappy dappy.
No, they're not. They're not.
You know,
like
I am.
you know,
tell my son I love him every
I
day.
know.
But,
I know. I like my Mexican father is Miguel Leo, and
Right.
you know how he is. Like he's
Right.
great. He's great. You know, it wasn't until Angel knocked out Venado that he said I love you. You know,
It wasn't until that day.
that day.
So yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Oscar's dad would like never say it. So they may never verbally go, he's chingon. He's all right with us. Well, even that is more Chicano slang, the chingon stuff. But well, no, it's not. Mexicans from Mexico say it too. But all that matters is they watch the fight, they pay attention to it, and that's what this week's about: establishing that attention from that fan base.
There you go.
That's what I got.
All right, Sean. Well, there you go. Sean's a tell, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed Sean what he had to say. Make sure you guys go subscribe to his channel because we have to continue to build both our channels. So go over to Sean's and subscribe to him. But guys, I think on that note, I'm gonna wrap it up because I gotta eat and get ready for the weigh-in and things like that. But thank you guys for the support. Check out the channel for all content that's gonna come out, interviews, shorts, videos, all that stuff. I will be live for Inoue and Nakatani, so make sure you guys tune in. We might even have some special guests. We'll see. But either way, see you guys later. Take care, and yeah.